Hi everyone, so I thought today I would just talk about my pet room and how much upkeep it takes and if it always looks as it does in this video here at the moment. So most of my videos you'll see my pet room looking quite neat. The flooring's all tidy and clean, the litter boxes are usually changed, it's dusted, that sort of thing. But it's not always like this. So I think it's important to talk about pets and the mess that they do make. We don't always have our rooms perfect and mess-free. So let's just take a look at how after a little while it usually, sometimes gets in my pet room. So as you can see, it doesn't stay neat and tidy for very long. I mean, this is quite extreme what you're seeing here because I've just bonded Coco and Billy together. So there's a lot of territorial marking going on, which is why there's so many spots of wee on the floor. So it's not always like this, but regardless, pets do, let's be honest, they do make a lot of mess, and it does take a lot of effort every day to keep them clean. And I think it's really important to remember that when you're considering a pet, because they're not just going to sit there and look cute and fluffy and keep everything neat and tidy. Even BL and Lotus, they're reasonably pretty tidy now, but they still do make a little bit of mess. They drop veggie juice on the floor. Sometimes they have little patches of wee, that sort of thing. And it's just life. They're definitely worth it, so worth it. But it's just really important to keep in mind, I think, when considering a pet, that it is going to be a lot of work and upkeep to keep the room hygienic and looking nice. So how do we do it without going crazy? Well, I think the most important thing is to stay real in your expectations of how clean it's going to be, how clean your animal is going to be. I use things that are easy to clean, so I have the hard wooden floors underneath and these easy to wash padding on top so that I can easily just gather up any mess and pop it into the washing machine. If I had carpet in here, it would be really hard because I would be cleaning the floor all the time. And having even things like foam mats, memory foam mats, things like that just wouldn't be as easy for me to wash. I'd have to be doing a lot of hand washing and that sort of thing. It just wouldn't be practical. So I think just think of what's going to be the best solution for easy upkeep for yourself. Also, still suitable for the pets, which is why I've still got padding down, because otherwise Lotus's or all the bunnies' hocks would get sore on the hard floor. So, but just be, realistic. Don't expect them to keep the place tidy. Expect there's going to be a little bit of mess to clean up at least. And how can you make that work for yourself so that it's less time spent cleaning and more time able to enjoy them. One of the most important things I think to remember is never to get angry at an animal for making a mess inside, whether it's tipping something over, whether it's weeing on the floor. It's not going to help. They don't mean to make a mess to be annoying. And usually they're either making a mess because they're insecure and they're territorially marking, or they've got a physical issue where, they've got bladder control issues. Either way, getting angry at them isn't going to help, especially if they're insecure. They are just going to become more insecure and the problem's going to get worse. So it's really important never to get angry at the animal for making a mess, because it isn't their fault and we are their guardians, and it's up to us to care for them and work out what's going on and try and make it better for them so that they are comfortable in their home. Whether it's a physical problem or a mental issue, we need to work it out for them. As I said
earlier,
Coco and Billy have just been bonded. If you've been following my channel, you'll see their bonding story on there. And as I said, they are territorially marking, it's a mouthful, still quite a bit at this stage. And I had set the pen out like this with just a couple of large pieces of flooring, but that was getting really hard to clean. I can't just pick the individual pieces up and put them in the washing machine. I had to change pretty much the whole pen just for if they weed on one patch. So that was a bit unrealistic. I also had to lift the table leg up where the guinea pig pen is sitting because the blanket was under there, and that was quite hard on my back because I have a back issue, so it just wasn't working. So I think it's really important to think creatively when you can with things like this. So I thought, well, this isn't working, what can I do that is going to be better to make this work? So what I decided to do was, just for now, break up the pieces of the flooring that I put down into little strips, so that if they wee in one area, I can just pick that strip up and wash it rather than having to take up the whole floor. And that's worked really well. It doesn't look very nice, but that's not the point. It's working really well, and it's making a lot less washing for me because it was getting just out of control, the washing, and it was making it's saving me a lot of time, which is really important because I don't want to spend too much time and start getting grumpy and resenting the whole process. So, I'd say thinking creatively is a really important part of making it work with pets. Another thing that I've recently put in for Coco and Billy, because they're the older bunnies, is these padded ramps that they can get in and out of their litter box easily with. And my first thought would be to, as you can see, I've made them out of just different layers of material, layers of blankets and polar fleece and that sort of thing. And my first thought would have been to buy a wedge of foam to pop there, a pre-cut wedge of foam that I could have just put up there, put a cover on and put there, but that wouldn't have been practical because then that would have been hard again to wash, and they do tend to sometimes have little accidents on it, so I do need to be able to wash that easily, so I can easily do that. It's also it wouldn't be as versatile either, like if they need something different, like a different litter box, and I don't need that ramp anymore, that little padding bit there anymore, I can now just use the blankets for other things, whether if I'd had a foam wedge, that's really only for one purpose, so it wouldn't have been as versatile. So I think it's really important to think outside the square and to try and make things work for you best you can. Don't just go to the most obvious first response of what you should use. Have a think, what is actually going to work for me and what could I do to make life easier for me and my pets and make it work. So so that's just a little bit of just talking about pets and mess and how things do get messy. Life is messy. Life isn't this neat little perfect thing, but they're so worth it. They are so worth it, and I actually quite enjoy cleaning their pens and quite enjoy seeing it all set up nicely and seeing them comfortable, and they really do love a clean pen. They love it when they have a clean, and their litter boxes are nice, and it's all worth it. But it's important just to remember everyone's pets make mess, and that's just part of the deal. And that's just how it goes. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!